Today we're talking about earnest money. So what is earnest money and how does it apply to the real estate transaction? So let's dive into this topic. I'm Margaret Herdt. I post new videos every Tuesday all about Loveland and a little bit about real estate. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. So what is earnest money? It's money that you put down at the beginning of a real estate transaction. It tells the seller that you are serious about purchasing this property. In our market, this money typically is due within 1 to 3 days of an accepted offer. The amount of the earnest money is not set in stone. It is negotiable, but usually you can figure around 1% of the list price. So example would be a $400,000 property, your earnest money would be $4,000, and that's due 1 to 3 days, after an accepted offer. So you have to have that money up front. Once the seller has accepted your offer and your funds are verified, you will then have a binding contract. If you do not deposit any earnest money, then your contract is void, unless it's stated in the contract that you are not putting any earnest money down, which in most cases a seller is not going to go for because they need you to have a little skin in the game. That would be the scenario anywhere for 99% of the buyers. They want a good faith deposit. In Colorado, the earnest money is typically held by the title company in an escrow account. This earnest money cannot be used for anything else other than your transaction. The title company can't commingle those funds. That money is yours and it'll be held in your name in the trust account, period. That's it. So what does earnest money go toward? So this money can be used for your down payment or closing costs. Those are the typical things that earnest money is used for. It's your money to be used toward that transaction. Could you lose this money? Absolutely you could. You have to make sure when you go into this transaction, this is really what you want to do. So, but in my 22 years of selling real estate, I've only seen this one time. The buyer backed out of the transaction just because there was no reason. There was no reason like an inspection issue, an appraisal issue. He couldn't get the loan. The appraisal didn't come in at value, and so the buyer didn't want to pay more than appraised value. Those are just a few things that you could get out of a contract and get your earnest money back. But just changing your mind in the middle or the beginning or the end of this contract, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get your earnest money back. So just make sure that you go into it. This is what I really want. Earnest money is something that you have to plan for when you buy a new house. So it's just a cost of purchasing a home. You need to plan on saving at least 1% of the list price. That's what kind of earnest money you're going to need to have before you start the process, because that's going to be required right up front. If you liked this information, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. I'll see you next Tuesday.